scam of the podcast. We have a new movement, I'm going to call it, from one of the biggest YouTubers on the platform, Jake Paul, which is being called a scam by a lot of other YouTubers, media outlets. So we're going to jump into this, and you can make your mind up about whether you think it's a scam. I think it sounds very sketchy, if you ask me. So let me give you some context. We're going to talk about Jake Paul quickly and a bit of his background. Then we'll talk about the financial freedom movement, which is the scam in question now.
I already hate it.
You will hate it.
Just wait, and we'll get to that. But last year, Jake Paul actually came under fire last year because he promoted a website called Mystery Brand through his YouTube channel, which basically steered his young audience, this is a quote I'm reading, steered his young fan base to gamble money in exchange for mystery prizes. So they basically touted prizes like iPhones, Rolls Royces, holiday homes to his young audience and said, if you pay money...
I remember this.
Yeah.
So you go on and you open a mystery box, and on that mystery box it might be £20, but it could have an iPhone in it. But most of the time it didn't.
I remember seeing something like that a few years
ago.
Yeah, it's gambling.
Yeah.
It's a website where you pay money to open a specific box. It might have nothing inside it. It might have a £2 Amazon voucher, or it might have a Rolls Royce. It's gambling, yeah. And he was driving his young audience to the site to pay money in the hopes of getting an iPhone or a Rolls Royce. So already last year, labelled really as morally bankrupt, the website turned out to be a scam, and Jake Paul was eventually forced to tweet, "Kids, just a reminder, don't gamble."
He was forced to tweet that. He was forced to tweet. That's like such a half-assed tweet as well.
Yeah, I know, such a cop-out. But he's already been labelled as morally bankrupt, drawn to scams, from this scam he was involved in last year. And what he's just announced recently, the financial freedom movement is being called a scam already. So to give you a bit of context into what the financial freedom movement is, we've got Jake's first tweet that kind of announces it here. So Joe's gone on screen.
Want me to read it out?
What's it say at the top first, Joe?
Our education system is worthless. I'm fed up. If I die, I want to die having made a real difference on the world.
Cool. So let's get a little snippet of what it says. I think I can read it from here. If you're confused at what this event is tomorrow, basically, I'm sick of our education system and how it's teaching kids zero real life skills for them to secure their own future. I'm creating a movement for everyone that wants to take life into their own hands and learn real life skills from actual professionals. Why are kids sitting in film class learning from a teacher who's never even made a film? That's just one example. I was a kid in class who was the smartest but wouldn't apply himself. Yeah, sure. He's just stroking his ego now. But long story short, that tweet criticized the education system, says that he wants to make a real difference, and he's basically offered a solution to that problem. And the solution that he's offered is online courses. So his movement is basically a website featuring online courses focused around three main areas: how to live life on your own terms, how to achieve your dream goals, and how to have financial freedom.
Financial freedom movement.
So he's called it the financial freedom movement.
When I meet people when I meet people that talk about financial freedom, like we've all been there, we've all met that guy that's trying to tell you, I'm financially free, X, Y, and Z, just buy this from me. I'm like, it's the same guy that'll have #entrepreneur in the bio on Instagram and still living with a mum and dad.
Well, this is his announcement video of the movement. Josh, get ready for this. You're gonna hate this.
Say we're entitled and lazy. They tell us to go to college, get a job, retire at 65. How's that working out for us? Are your parents happy? Are they living the life they wanted? There's over $1 trillion in student loan debt and people with outdated education who can't even get a job for the student loans they took out that now haunt them for life. Maybe we're too young to have experienced this yet, but if you're not, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I've had enough of it. Our generation is better than this. We deserve better. We're smarter. So what's the solution? We need to create a movement for our generation, one that inspires people to take action to achieve their dreams. Not the dreams our parents have for us or our society. We need a movement that inspires people to live life
so
on
vague and ambiguous,
Not
isn't
someone
it?
else.
What he's saying.
A movement
There's
that
no
anyone who's
specifics in
courageous
there.
enough to follow can have a much higher chance of becoming financially free from the societal cookie-cutter 9-to-5 jobs we are all told to have. Our future is in our hands. Are you with me?
What do you think to that? You can.
Quit your job and fire your boss.
It's just waffle, isn't it? It's
Are
just,
you motivated? Are you with him?
Quit your job and fire your boss.
I actually had this discussion with somebody yesterday. So like, with the rise of Gary Vee and how like popular it is to be an entrepreneur nowadays, there's a lot of people trying to do it in there. There's a lot of people want to do it.
Yeah.
And I believe that not everyone can do it because it's like so hard. Like, how hard has it been self-employed, Joe?
Yeah, it's hard.
Do you know what I mean? Realistically, like if I were giving advice to anybody to go self-employed, I'd be like, right, give yourself a goal, 3 years, yeah? If in 3 years you can't get... So a regular job might pay you 25, 30 grand a year. So realistically, if you run your own business and you turn over probably double that to cover your overheads and actually still have a wage, so you get paid 25 grand. So that means for you to pay yourself 25 grand and actually run a business, you probably need to earn 50 grand.
Yeah.
So give yourself a goal in 3 years. If you can't turn a business from £0 to a turnover of realistically like maybe 200 grand, you know, like you need a member of staff to help you because you're going to burn out. So I reckon 200 grand, 250 grand, that's your goal. If in 3 years you can't go from £0 to $250,000 turnover, you might as well have a job because you don't get any stress.
Yeah, and there's a common saying, isn't there, within business terms? It's like entrepreneurs go from working a 9-to-5 job, 8 hours a day, to working a 12 to 14-hour day job, and like
7 days a week.
Yeah, with no guarantee they're going to make any money.
And like, I think you've got to accept that going into it. So like, this is where like the idea of entrepreneurism and moving forward, like I'll accept for an X amount of period of time that I'll work 12, 13 hours a day, 7 days a week for a couple of years. And you'll see the wrinkles on my face that prove that.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to put that grind and that effort in for the rewards of potentially being very successful. But no one ever really talks about it. Like, oh, if you become an entrepreneur, you could earn like 50 grand a year.
They don't talk about the hard work.
They don't talk about like profits, losses, revenue, the difference of it all. They're just like, yeah, you just need to make all this money. And that, like, what is he talking about there? Like, he's just going to cause...
Listen to this next bit.
I'm not seeing this next bit, actually. I'm interested. Quit your job and quit school.
Because you've been lied
So he's
to.
basically telling people the education system's useless, working a 9-to-5 job is useless, and in a second you'll see he's basically telling people to pay to join his financial freedom movement to basically learn how to succeed in life his way instead.
Which is $500, right?
It's $20 a month. Yeah. If you pay for the annual subscription up front, it's $150. Or you can pay $20 a month, and what's that, $240 a year, isn't it?
So what do you get? What's in it?
We'll get to that in a second.
Oh, right, okay.
But yeah, like example here of guy he's only 20, 21. He's got super successful on YouTube. His audience is predominantly between like 8 and 14, 15 years old. And he's telling them to not basically give any value to a school, not focus about getting a job, and to pay him money, pretty much.
He's always doing things wrong, isn't he, Jake Paul? Like, I seen him on Logan Paul's podcast crying because he's been fined by someone. He's been sued by a company for a lot of money, and he's crying. It's all like, oh, it's because everyone hates Jake Paul, blah, blah, blah. But he's doing things wrong all the time.
Yeah.
How can he not see that this is wrong?
And like, even the style of this video screams out scam, isn't it? It's like 1990s, early 2000s scam video.
Yeah.
But it's just, and the thing is, like, he must be making so much money already off YouTube, all the sponsorships and brand promotions he get. Why does he bring himself down to this level and manipulate people into buying into? You know, I think it's fair to like, it's being called a scam. I'm happy to call it a scam. Like, why is he getting people to buy into this obvious like scam? You know what I mean? It's just for more money to go into his pockets.
Yeah. There potentially could be something there. Do you know, like there could be, there could be a way to be teaching people certain aspects of life skills or whatever. But again, that's all a bit wishy-washy and fluffy. It's like having a business coach that's never run a business. It's like having a life coach. Like, what? Like,
yeah,
what's going on? Like, what is a life coach? Do you know?
Well, this video, it's all hype. There's no specifics. They're going to be learning this. There's going to be a curriculum of this, and this. Yeah. It's just all hype, emotion. And like you said, wishy-washy.
But he did Edfluence last year as well. And that website's down.
I heard about that when I did research for this.
And that was how to be a social media star. And you sign up, pay whatever it was, $20, $50, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then it's gone down within a year.
What I heard, the biggest criticism I heard about this is, he's telling people to not pay attention in school, drop out maybe, not to value the idea of getting a job, and just become a successful social media influencer instead. But there's no guarantee that you can become successful on social media.
In the hardest time, so there's waves, isn't there? There's waves on social media. Marques Brownlee, he rode the wave of tech at the beginning of YouTube. He niched down into technology-based videos at a time when YouTube was growing, and now he's the biggest star. These guys, I don't know much about Jake Paul.
They rode the vlog movement.
Yeah, so
the vlog and they're funny. Yeah,
but now every niche has kind of been done. You need to be really breaking the mold. So if you to just wishy-washy say to everybody, oh, you can all be social media stars and make money from Instagram. Everyone
needs to quit their job, not go to school, and just become a social media star. What? And it's there's no guarantee that you can become a social media star. So I think it's just such dangerous rhetoric what he's saying. If we jump to the next tab, there's a great tweet. It was someone that just initially broke this story.
This is the website.
This is the website, but let's go to the tweet first. So this is the tweet breaking the story, and the top one we've got the video we just watched, but the video Joe's on now. This is the event that he was throwing the next day, that he invited all his following to basically announce the financial freedom movement was going live. He was up on a balcony looking above all these kids who follow him on social media, and he was shooting dollar bills out of this gun down to the crowd below.
This is some straight up Fire Festival stuff, this.
Yeah. And so this was his basically launch event for the financial freedom movement, shooting money down on these kids that follow him. And press forward a second, Joe. And he got people to write on what are they called when you hold placards, I guess?
Posters,
boards. People were holding posters, writing stuff like school is useless, quit your job. Trying to build up hype for this event. Funnily enough, at the top of that tweet, it says on that tweet that we're looking at now, turns out the kids are onto his bullshit because only about 30 of them showed up to the event. So it wasn't as big a launch as he expected. Apparently he hired tons of security and stuff for this, and it was all in this massive venue, but only around 30 kids arrived.
Because they're all in school, you dope.
Yeah. But if you but this is the Twitter account that broke it. If you click on that one there, Joe, that you're on now, this is the pricing plan for the financial freedom movement. $20 a month, or you can pay for the whole year for $150.
Someone said it looks like a reskin of Edfluence. The site does.
So the education site that you made last year.
So that's why it's down.
It probably is, just a repackage of his site from last year.
Now 70% off. So it's $149 for a year, but luckily he's giving it to you for 70% off. Yeah, that's nice of him, isn't it? I think that's good.
It's such a transparent sales technique, isn't it?
It's $480 for the year, but 70% off is $149.
Yeah. So for any audience that's watching that aren't in sales, this tactic of saying that something used to be this price, but now it's this price is just the oldest trick in the book to try and encourage people to think they're getting a better deal than what they actually are getting, and try and increase those impulse buyers on the spot.
I think we should buy one for me. I think we should have a look at it. Throw $20 in pot and see what crap is peddling. We'll all set share login. Put login on Twitter.
Do a bit of research.
Yeah, start up login and just let everybody have a go.
Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll buy it and look at
that'd be
and talk about it for the next episode.
Yeah. And then we'll get the lawsuit that comes in after that. Yeah. Bring it on, Mr. Paul.
So let's get the website up again, Joe, and see what actually is on the website, the Financial Freedom Movement website that you set up for this. So this is the site. When you load it up, what does it say? Your terms, dream goals, have financial freedom. Look at that picture of him looking all serious
cool,
as well.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
The first 10,000 movement makers. What's that?
First 10,000 movement makers
to take action and receive
get insane bonuses.
Whoa!
And look, they've got the Walt Disney logo on here. ABC.
There's
MTV.
No way those companies are promoting this. I endorsing it. There's no way they're behind it. Yeah, telling kids to drop out of school.
He worked for Disney and then got sacked.
Yeah. Yeah, like a program that tells kids to drop out of school and not worry about getting a job. There's no way these big companies are promoting this program.
And then these news is when he's probably been on news for being a knob, basically.
Yeah. So here we go. The launch included a meet and greet with Jake Paul and opportunities to sign up for the platform, as well as purchase Financial Freedom Movement merchandise. Jake Paul and friends made it rain money over the crowd using cash cannons firing single dollar bills. Here we go. The Financial Freedom Movement promises to give subscribers access to Jake Paul's personal experience, rituals, and secret formula, and cutting-edge mentorship, coaching, and training. So that's what they're being promised.
Some entrepreneur formula stuff, this, isn't it?
Yeah. So I actually found an article which spoke. They actually bought access to this, and they basically reviewed what's inside it. And I'm going to try and open this link desperately here, which doesn't seem to be opening. Jay, maybe you can open the next page. Input Magazine, is it? Yeah. And if you scroll down, there should be some stuff in there about.
It's just the stuff we've seen before.
Is it stuff we've read already? Is it?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to desperately find a bit I was reading last night. Here we go. Not worth it. Shocker. Here we go. So, BuzzFeed news reporter Lauren Strap-Agail actually paid to enter the Financial Freedom Movement, and she wrote that Financial Freedom Movement's offerings are deeply underwhelming, noting that some of the courses are only made up of a short video featuring Jake Paul. In one course, Jake Paul starts with an introduction and tells viewers to quit your job and fire your boss. There's nearly a 2-hour lesson that suggests you can climb to fame and success by simply hustling and putting yourself out there. Though, unfortunately, the advice seems to lack much substance beyond that. His advice is mostly limp rhetoric about working hard, and he fails to give any actual specifics about how to do anything. He mostly stares dead-eyed at the ground, offers vague catchphrases, and gives an anecdote about someone he knows who made it big. So there you have it.
Jesus,
There's literally nothing inside there worth value.
Did you see what he did with Zayn recently, Josh?
Nah,
Zayn Malik.
I don't follow any of this. Like, why? What's he done?
So he seen Zayn in LA. Oh, we're at Vegas, and basically he said, "Do you want to hang out?" And Zayn told him that he didn't want to hang out with him.
Okay.
So Jake Paul tweeted saying that he were going to clap him up, and then Zayn's girlfriend Gigi Hadid.
What does that mean?
Beat him up.
Oh, okay.
The kids are saying it these days.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah.
So Gigi Hadid basically just shut him down on Twitter. She got like 200,000 likes on a tweet saying that he's a loser and that he's ugly and he's just a YouTuber.
He got put in his place big time. Yeah.
Good.
And the next day he tweeted, it was like, I need to learn not to tweet and use my phone when I'm drunk. My bad. Yeah.
What a scumbag.
He got put in his place.
What a dick. All of them, I mean, like, he's done a bit of boxing as well, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I don't, like, it's just, yeah, I can't deal with this.
Yeah.
But Zayn's Northern and he didn't care. Like, there's a video of him going mental behind the door at him, going crazy, saying, I don't want to hang around with you, this and that. Like,
There's a video, is there?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll watch that at the end. I've not seen that.
It
But yeah, one final note on this person that took the training. My advice to you is to save your money, especially since I can't get the cancel subscription button to work.
No way. No way.
It's so sketchy, isn't it? It's so sketchy.
This guy, man. Yeah, Jake, do you want an MMA match? Come over to North of England. We'll have a tussle.
Come and fight Josh.
Come down to the gym. Let's see if your boxing can do any well for that. What a fucking scumbag.
Well, I think the worst thing here is his audience is predominantly kids. So if you're an adult and you're stupid enough to buy into this, that's your own problem really. But he's using his influence, his personal brand, social media presence to trick kids into giving him money and potentially ruining their prospects for the future by telling them that school isn't important and getting a job isn't important.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for using your brand to endorse actual like products that can help people, but then there's this sort of stuff and the line's blurry. And I think that's what social change trying to push out now, is to make sure that people are backing the right influences for the right things. Mm-hmm. So.
And if we jump back over to the website Financial Freedom Movement, inside the course you're getting training from Jake Paul, but you're also getting training from these people here. So these are all self-proclaimed millionaires, I guess, that are giving you their life lessons and stuff in the course. I only recognise Billie Jean from that list because he does a lot of YouTube ads.
Oh, Rich Time with Michael Jackson, yeah.
Yeah, Billie Jean. His company is called Billie Jean is Marketing. That's But he pops up on my videos actually quite a lot. He even does on my videos, but I don't know any of the other guys. But these, when you pay to go into the Financial Freedom Movement, you get a few, like this article said, vague, useless lessons from Jake Paul, and then you get lessons from these guys as well. If we jump over to Graham Stevens video. So Graham Stevens is a great YouTuber. He does real detailed breakdowns of stuff like this, credit cards, financial like investments, scams that are out of cryptocurrency. And he bought access to the financial freedom movement himself. 20-minute video on about whether this is good or not and what it's all about. And if you press play, this is basically summary of the training.
Is this? Given Jake Paul's complete lack of involvement, given that the entire selection of millionaire experts all knew and worked with each other years before this course went live, given that nearly the entire program is a re-upload of repackaged and reused content, and given the extremely low level of user interaction on the site, of which was actually registered years ago, I would just venture to guess that Jake Paul was probably paid an undisclosed amount of money to put his face on the website, and instead, the entire program is owned and operated by one of these 8 people we see here. Now, I'm not going to point fingers at anyone specifically because, again, this is just theory. But from the looks...
Let's pause. So we said the website's been registered and active since 2017. So he thinks that it was made by one of those 8 entrepreneurs and they just paid Jake Paul basically to promote it at the last minute.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably a realistic prediction of what happens. Just before we finish, quick note. When he took this course, Graham Stevens realized that, you know, those 8 entrepreneurs that we just saw, a lot of their training in the financial freedom movement is just re-uploads from training they've sold in the past. Yeah. He found actually quite a lot of the videos that were inside the financial freedom movement. We've got to wrap up for a second, but yeah, a lot of the videos in the training were actually, you can find them for free on YouTube already, on those individual influencers' YouTube channels. So it's a complete con. They're using old training from 2-3 years ago, free stuff that's on YouTube, putting it inside this website, getting Jake Paul to promote it and making money. So yeah, be careful out there, kids.
It's ridiculous.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed this episode.